All right, so the next step is to put in our beam. So let's go to, let's say the mezzanine level or whatever that happens to be for you. Go to structure, go to beam. Again, we have a beam that's already loaded. It's similar. If we need to load a different beam, we're going to go to, it always defaults to the last folder you're in, so we'd need to go back to English Imperial and go to I think it's structural framing and steel, and then in here we would choose the the structural beam that we want. So I'm going to use a wide flange, and again it opens up a different menu. We're probably just going to go with something a little smaller, say an 18. Oh, we'll do an 18 by 60. So what you should know about beams is that the 18, the first number is the depth of the beam, and the second number is how many pounds per foot it weighs. So 60 would be 60 pounds per foot. So all right, we'll load that, and then we'll just click on that, and we should see, let's see, left reference level. All right, let's make that mezzanine. And you should see some other things. I'm gonna just click on a couple other, put 2 of these in, and let's see what we actually got. So they don't show up here. Let's see what the 3D view looks like. So this looks pretty good. So what we're going to do is just put these on kind of all these outer, and we'll put them on here, and then let's look at one more thing just so we kind of everything's clear. Is why don't they show up? It's a good question. So let's just see what in the visibility graphics, see if structural beam is it does look like it's, so the visibility graphics allows you to turn elements on and off. So if I wanted to turn off columns, I could and apply it. Well, I would have thought the, all right, hang on. So those are normal columns. I should have been down to structural columns. So now that would turn that off. And since it actually shows beams as it being on, I think what we'll do is look at the view range, and you can see that it just goes down to the mezzanine. It doesn't go below that. So if I go below the level below, and I have to do both the view depth and the bottom, now it shows me at least a representation of that beam. The reason that it's only showing me kind of one line is that we're in coarse mode for drawing. So every drawing you can set a different level of refinement. So we have coarse, we have medium, and we have fine. So if we move it up to fine, you can see that now it represents the beam with 2 lines, kind of more of how you would draw it in actuality. So let's just roll with that, and we'll just go from there. All right. All right, so since now I have it kind of set, I can pretty quickly you know, populate this. Now, one thing I will note, there, you know, you might be kind of want to make a beam like goes all the way through like that. That's not really how the world works. You shouldn't do that. I think there's a couple reasons that we wouldn't do that. One, if we really were working with an engineer, that would throw their model completely off. And two, it starts to do these weird things like it, you know, doesn't really join with your columns. You know, you can see right here, it kind of has a really good look when we render and when we do our various perspectives. If the structure is involved, it will look right. So what I want you to do is just place each one. This is really simple, so it's worth kind of just doing it right. So it just means a bit of clicking, and I found that this is operations about the best way to go about it. You can see it snaps to the centers, so it's really easy. You can also then try to do a selection set. I will warn you, you've selected the columns too, but it's pretty easy to filter that out. I can just go up here to filter, and then I'm going to turn off model groups and going to turn off columns, and I'm going to leave the framing, and voila, I have that. And so now I can copy, and I can do the same here using control. I can select the two that I want and then copy those over. Alright, so in the end, yours should look something like this. In fact, why don't we're going to create, now yours, again, you want to look at your model to know if there were actually structure where that I just took that out, but I'm just going to pretend that we have an open volume. All right, that's it.